Is this the part of the video where I have to admit that American chocolate wasn't as shit as I thought it was gonna be? Hello again. You join me for part 2 of Scottish Girl Tries American Chocolate. That zingy, catchy title that we've all been waiting for a sequel to. So in the last video, if you watched it, you'll have seen me taste things such as Hersheys Cookies and Cream, the classic Hostess Twinkie, and the kind of shockingly bad Tootsie Roll, among other things. I've got another great haul of stuff with me here. Today's video has everything from Hersheys creamy original milk chocolate to slightly more exciting things such as Whoppers. As I always do, I'm just going to taste my way through them and be brutally honest in my reviews. The first item I'm going to try, much like the other video in which I tried the Hostess Twinkie, which, you know, was better than I thought it was going to be, I'm going to try another Hostess product. There was great debate as to whether I was going to order a Ho-Ho or a Ding Dong. That is every bit as weird as it sounds. But in the great battle of Ho-Ho versus Ding Dong, the Ho-Ho came out trumps. Let me just cut it open for you and we'll have a look inside. There is a little cross section for you. So the Ho-Ho, I believe, is just a little chocolate sponge cake with a creamy filling and a kind of chocolate coating. In the UK, we have chocolate cake kind of things called mini rolls that Cadbury make that look pretty similar to this actually. So I'm not going in totally blind, but we'll see how the Ho-Ho compares. My only complaint would be that the sponge is pretty dry. Like, as you can see, it's kind of thin. The chocolate on the outside is also really thin. The cream's really nice. It's just a kind of sweetened cream taste. Yeah, Ho-Ho is definitely not the worst thing I put in my mouth. Next, we shall venture into Hersheys. I've heard mixed reviews of the plain Hersheys bar from both American people and British people. So just gonna see how it is. The initial smell isn't the greatest. It just kind of smells like really cheap chocolate. And to give you an example of size, it's just this tiny little square, much like the cookies and cream or the cookies and chocolate one. Really thin, really small, but very cute. A bit like me. We'll just see how it tastes. You know what? It's not that bad. I mean, it tastes like cheap chocolate. It tastes like the kind of chocolate you would pick up for like 30p in a supermarket, or that you would get in a cheap kind of Easter egg or something like that. I can see kids loving this a lot. It's not the best chocolate I've ever tasted, but it's alright. There's nothing offensive about it. Next, we will move on to one that I think is going to confuse me. That is the Milky Way. This doesn't really tell me what's in it anywhere, I don't think. It's very old school packaging, by the way, which I kind of like. The immediate impression is it kind of looks like what we call a Mars bar, with the sort of wiggly chocolate on top. Ah, I understand. So inside we have basically a kind of 60-40 split of fluffy nougat, whatever you call it, and some caramel surrounded in chocolate. In the UK, we have a bar like this that we call a Mars bar. So by the look of it, what you guys call a Milky Way, we call a Mars bar, and what we call a Milky Way, you guys call Three Musketeers. It's very confusing. Either way, confusing or not, let's see how the Milky Way tastes. So that one I'd say is pretty similar, if not identical, to a British Mars bar. I'd say it's probably a little bit chewier. I mean, I haven't had a Mars bar in years, but it's a little bit chewier than what I'd remember. But yeah, very pleasant, very sweet, which is probably why it's so small, or why it's this handy little kind of size rather than a big bar. But yeah, I can see myself being pretty happy to finish it off. Sticking with the theme of chocolate in a bar form, we will move swiftly on to the Almond Joy. It says, it doesn't really give anything away, it just says milk chocolate, coconut and almond. What form that takes, I have no idea. Ooh, it smells very coconutty. Oh my god! Okay, so in this packaging, sorry, that was a total overreaction to anything. In this package, instead of just one bar, there appears to be two little kind of snack-sized pieces. Kind of similar to a Bounty in the UK, I think, with a little sort of couple of bolts of almonds on top of a chocolatey, coconutty river there. So we'll cut into it and see what it tastes like. Just a nice little cross section again for you there. Much as I expected, it's very like a British Bounty bar. I don't know if you get those in the US. So yeah, chocolate filled with a nice sort of soft coconut filling with a little crunchy almond on top, which to me already sounds better than a Bounty. We'll see how this little guy tastes. Yeah, flavor pretty much identical to a Bounty, if not just a bit sweeter. Big fan of Bounty bars myself. I love anything coconutty. And the almond adds a really nice crunch to it. Basically a Bounty but with texture and a better kind of chocolate to coconut ratio, because a Bounty you can kind of sit there and be like, you know, chewing your way through all the coconut the whole time, which is great if you're a coconut lover, but not so great if you're not. But yes, if you like nuts and coconut, this is a winner. Big thumbs up for the Almond Joy. Next on the list of American chocolate to review, I am going to taste a Whopper. I feel like I'm comparing everything I'm tasting here to UK equivalents, but I can't help it. So a Whopper in the UK is basically a Malteser, from what I can gather. A malted milk ball covered in chocolate. Like the cardboard box has more smell than the chocolate does. Yeah, they smell of nothing. About the same size as Maltesers, I think. But they smell of absolutely nothing. Can't judge a Whopper by its cover. I like to keep an open mind, especially with things that mostly contain sugar. But that isn't good. I mean, they're salty, but not in a pleasant way. And like the inside is kind of dense. No, like you can't taste the chocolate and the inside either isn't sweet enough or just hasn't had enough flavour injected into it. So yeah, I'll be sticking to Maltesers, I'm afraid, because Whoppers get a thumb down. 2 more items to review. First is chocolate chip cookie dough bites. These basically look like, well, as it says on the box, bite-sized egg-free cookie dough in cream milk chocolate. Surely to God this can't be bad. You're certainly making me work to get into them because I'm having to open a box and a bag. Definitely makes up for the lack of smell and shitty taste of these. Holy crap. So I have already spotted a mutant. I'm going to take the mutant. They're all just kind of little nuggety sized bits of cookie dough, which I think is a great kind of size. I'm going to taste this mutant and see if it is as cookie dough-y as it makes itself out to be. Shut the front door. These get like 12 thumbs up. So you probably can't see the inside very well, but there's this like thick chocolate coating with chocolate chip cookie dough inside, and holy shit, it is good. Everything that's good about cookie dough, if you've ever eaten raw homemade cookie dough or you've had like Ben & Jerry's cookie dough ice cream, it's basically that, but covered in chocolate. It's amazing. It's like, as I guess, there is literally nothing wrong with it. It's amazing. So the final item on Scottish Girl Tries American Chocolate Part 2 of 2, the sharing size bag, obviously, of Pretzel MMs. Ooh, so they're quite big. I'll try and bite one in half. I'm not really sure these are designed to be bitten in half, but I'll try and show you what it's like. Okay, so the whole biting in half thing didn't work. They are good. So crispy M&Ms are actually my favourite kind of M&Ms, even as much of a peanut butter nutter as I am. These are just like that, but bigger, and they've got sort of nice saltiness to them. Basically just like smushed up pretzel covered in chocolate with a sugary shell. It's delicious. It's every craving in one. That's another thumbs up from me. That completes part 2 of 2 of Scottish Girl Tries American Chocolate. Just a little run through of what we've tasted today. We tasted a Ho-Ho, which will never stop being a weird name. Liked it more than a Twinkie, but not quite as much as the UK equivalent of a Cadbury mini roll. Second, we tried the Hersheys Creamy Original Milk Chocolate. Just kind of tastes like cheap chocolate. Nothing to write home about. Third, we had the Milky Way bar, which is basically the US equivalent of what we have in the UK called a Mars bar, except a little bit chewier. Again, pretty decent. Not my favourite, but yeah, it would get a thumbs up. Fourth, we tried the Almond Joy. Probably my favourite, or one of the favourites of the bunch. Really nice, really good balance of textures. A little bit sweeter than what I'm used to, but I think I could still easily, devour it. After the Almond Joy, we tried the tragedy that was a box of Whoppers. I'm kind of pissed off that this box is so big and that I paid for it because, to be quite honest, they were shite. Dense, not sweet enough, can't taste the chocolate, just bleh. Avoid the Whopper. Big thumbs down. We tried these cookie dough bites. I am keeping this bag firmly by my side because these are feckin' delicious. Great texture, great flavour, and just a great idea, really. So yeah, get yourself some of these. I'm definitely going to be picking up other flavours to give them a go. Yeah, big thumbs up again. And finally, we tried the Pretzel MMs. Another big thumbs up for me. Perfect balance of salty and sweet. Gets all your cravings in one hit. Another big thumbs up. Thank you for joining me for the second part of this video. It means a lot that you guys are here, and if you're new, make sure to hit that little red subscribe button. There will be a link to my blog, Maverick Baking, somewhere on screen just now, where you can find more reviews, recipes, and just articles on all things edible. And I will see you very soon for more recipes, reviews, and sugar-coated silliness.